Okay, so thanks very much for turning up today. My name's Ruth Barton and I'm Head of Film Studies. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just give you, I've got a PowerPoint, I'm going to give you a little outline of what we do. It won't last terribly long. And then I'm going to throw it open to you to ask questions if you have them. If you feel that you don't want to stick your hand up and speak in front of a group of people, just, we'll have time. We've got a 45-minute slot. It's certainly not going to take that long to go through what I have to say, and I doubt to go through what you have to ask. So at the end, if you don't feel like speaking up in front of the group, just pop up here and I'll hope to answer your questions. We also have, Film Studies has a website, we have email addresses, and so on. So if at the end of this a question suddenly pops to mind that you wish you'd asked, go on our website, see if the answer is there, and if not, email us, and we'll do our best to answer you. Okay, so Film Studies at Trinity. Just trying to get the mouse to work. Very good. Okay, so Film Studies at Trinity is only part of the two-subject moderatorship. We have no single honours film studies course. So that means that you will be doing film if you come to do it with us in conjunction with another subject which is paired up with film. So not all TSM subjects are paired up with all other TSM subjects, and you'll have to go either online or onto the prospectus to see which other subjects film is paired up with. That means then, just to, if you're not familiar with what TSM is, just to remind you anyway, that this is a 4-year undergraduate course. You do both your TSM subjects for 3 years. Around this time, our third-year students are making their minds up as to what their final year option will be. Therefore, at the end of third year, you drop one of your subjects and you just focus on the other. We also offer a master's, an MPhil, and we have a number of students doing a PhD with us. Okay, so if you do film studies, what do you do? So, again, this sort of fairly arcane terminology at Trinity. So we call our first years junior freshman, senior freshman, junior sophomore, senior sophomore. But it may be easier just to think of it as first year, second year, third year, fourth year. So in film studies, when you come in, having got your points, which vary, as I'm sure you know, you can look it up this year. It was pretty hard to get in under 500 this year. So first year then, we just introduce you to film studies, because I know that the chances are that you have probably done no film studies before, or you may have done a little bit of film with an English class, or maybe in art history, or maybe in transition year. But, and I think it's no harm. You're all basically starting off blank sheet when you come in, because you haven't done film studies before, and we assume you have not. So what we do then in your first year is we introduce you to some of the different films that you're going to be seeing and their histories. So we do a history of Hollywood cinema. We do a history of European cinema. I teach a world cinemas course, which is basically I teach the cinemas of Africa, some African cinema, some Japanese cinema, some Iranian cinema, and some Middle Eastern cinema in that course. And then we also introduce you to film theory. And really that is to enable you to kind of change the way you write about film. So if you've been writing about film now, say you've been writing film reviews or you've been blogging, what we want to shift you from is the kind of, I suppose, film appreciation mode into a more academic way of writing about film. So the film theory course gives you the tools to write academically about film studies. That's first year. Then it begins to change in second year. In second year, you continue to do some of those courses, European cinema, world cinema. We introduce Irish cinema at that point, and these are now being more developed, so more focused, the courses. We also at this point start introducing you to very, very basic film production. That means that, in film theory in that year too. That means in senior freshman, you'll do an introduction to screenwriting and an introduction to digital video production. Now, I'm just going to kind of pause here and say, if anybody is here because they want to do film production, you're probably in the wrong place. Film production, pure film production, you should be going to the film school, you should be going to IADT and preparing your portfolio and trying to go there. We teach you film production, but it's within the context of a university curriculum. So the majority of your grade is always going to end up being for written essay type work. So our idea in having film production on the course is that we would like you to be rounded students, that you can not only write about film, but that you can make films too. However, you're not going to be making feature films, you're only going to be making short films. And you're not going to come out as well-equipped filmmakers as you would if you go to the film school. That's just a warning, because I know there is, it sounds, film studies, I'm going to just be making movies. You are going to be making movies, but you're going to be doing a lot of high-level academic theory as well. And really our idea is that if our students go on into film production, which many of them do, that they are people who are steeped in film, right? They are people who've not only watched hundreds of films, but they can theorize them, they can analyze them. And we feel that if people are going into film production from film studies at Trinity, that we're producing smart filmmakers, okay? That's not to say that filmmakers that go to film school aren't smart, but this is a particular kind of model that we have. And you have to do this in senior freshman. You have to do screenwriting, you have to do digital video production, you have to do all these courses. There are no options in the first 2 years. They're all what we call core courses. Then, moving on into junior sophomore, which is third year, you do more. Script writing, advanced digital video production. We introduce at this point courses in practical documentary and editing. These are all at this point options, okay? So at the end of second year, you may have decided that you are more or less interested in the academic and the film production areas. So if at the end of second year you decide, actually, filmmaking really is not for you, you've really struggled with it, you really hate it, then you can proceed for the next 2 years to do no film production. If, on the other hand, you suddenly discover that screenwriting is everything you've always wanted to do, or digital video production, you can then take more options in those subjects and fewer in academic theoretical subjects. However, as I say, you can never drop the film academic theory history aspect of your course. You have to do it. Then at that stage, then at the end of third year, as I was saying to you before, you make your choice. Do you stay in film? Do you stay in your other subject? And so you finish up with one or the other. In fourth year then, if you stay with us, there's again another change. The main part of your year, half your grade from your senior sophomore year will be for your dissertation. Okay, so that is a very big piece of work. That is academic writing. It is not, you can't make a movie. But we also, last year, pioneered a new course, and it's the only one of its kind in the country, where we put together the students in drama, film, and music, so that the drama students act, the music students compose, and the film students film, and we make 5 short films on that course. That's a big time-consuming course. It's incredibly time-consuming. It gets double the amount of credits, which is the way we measure a course in the other subjects. And then you still have your options. You have Hollywood, your Stardom, Cinema and Censorship, Russian cinema, I've put those in. There are many, the options change. The academic courses that we offer change the whole time. And we usually offer you the option as well of taking courses in drama and courses in music in these years if you're interested in dipping into other subjects. Okay? And then the other thing that you can also do is, in your sophomore years, you can take a course outside of your TSM subjects in what's called the broad curriculum. So you can take a course in history of art or something that whatever you're not doing, or something around college, if you want to just get a little bit of a taster, maybe a language, Japanese or whatever, if you're not doing it. Okay, so how does it work out day by day, week by week. Fundamentally, the structure is this. You see a film, you have a lecture, you discuss the film in a seminar. In the first and second years, the lecture and the seminar are at 2 different times, and what we do is we divide your class into 2 and conduct seminars. In 3rd and 4th year, the softer years, the lecture seminar is 1 2-hour model. And the film screenings continue throughout. We assess you, but you have to write essays. We give you projects to do. One of the projects my first year students are currently doing is they are programming a season of films at the Film Institute. Not really, but they're presenting a full brochure as if it was the Irish Film Institute of films they would screen in a season, and they provide little essays and little kind of introductions to those films. Sometimes it's conventional essays, sometimes it's not. In 1st and 2nd year, we have exams at the end of the year, though we've abolished exams for our 3rd and 4th years because we don't feel that examining is a very productive way of testing learning. Students will also make class presentations and be graded on those, and then you'll be doing your practical filmmaking or screenwriting, and those are tested by group participation, by your own self-assessment of how you're doing, and by the final piece of work that your group produces. Okay, some of you may wish to take the opportunity of going on Erasmus or going to the United States, Canada, or Australia. This is usually in 3rd year, junior sophomore. The language students sometimes go in 2nd year. People go all over. They may go to Paris, they may go to Berlin, they may go to Seville, they may go to UK universities. There are also, but it's very competitive, places in universities in the United States. There are also, as I say, Australia, Canada, and other places. So that would be for 1 semester, a term, or for a full year. And you also find in 3rd year we have many visiting students coming to us. You have many students from other countries studying in your classes, and many Americans who come to us for that year. Many students come to us for their 3rd year. So 3rd year is a very an international year for students, whether you go or whether you stay. We also have our filmmaker in residence, who is Lenny Abrahamson, whose films you, I hope, may have seen. And he comes in and does workshops with the students. He did one with us on sound just recently, in which he showed us clips from the film that he's currently making and showed us how, by choosing different sound elements, you can radically change the meaning of the film. And so he comes in and out, and he works with us on and off. It always depends on his schedule and how busy he is making his own films. And Lenny is a graduate of Trinity. He did philosophy at Trinity as an undergraduate. He was a gold medal student. And then he went to study philosophy at Stanford for a PhD, dropped out and became a filmmaker. So that's Lenny. But the other thing is that I would, and we're going to be saying this to you over and over again, if you come to Trinity, when you start out, one of the really great things about Trinity is a really vibrant student society network, if you like. There are student societies for everything you can think of, and if there isn't one, form one. We encourage our students to get involved in the film-related ones. That's DU Filmmakers. I think they've just changed the name to DU Film Society. So what they do is they screen films and watch them together. They make films, they run competitions, they get people in to talk to them and so on. Trinity Television, very similar. They make TV. And then there's the Trinity Film Review, which is purely writing. People write film reviews and they publish them in a journal. So, having done all that, the question that you're asking yourself, that your parents are asking you if you decide to go to film studies, and that your entire family is asking you is, so that's great, 4 years, what are you going to get out of it? Well, the answer is to, not wish to be too pessimistic, but after a degree in an undergraduate degree, there are very few undergraduate degrees that make you a professional anything. The only undergraduate degrees that make you a professional anything medicine and those kind of things, when you come out and you're a doctor. You come out of most degrees and you've got a degree. So the main thing is to come and enjoy yourself, to have a really good time, to open your mind up, to experience everything that you can experience at Trinity, to see everything you can see and do everything you can do. And that's the most productive thing and the most productive approach you can take in coming to university. However, if by any chance you believe you're going to get a job at some stage in life, and who knows, things may be better in 4 years' time, here's what our students have gone into. In reality, most of them go into some aspect of film production. However, as I keep saying, it's not because we tell them they're coming to film school. And when you go into film production, you may have a first-class honours degree in film studies. You're probably going to start making the tea and manning the reception desk. You may well start being paid nothing. However, our students are moving up the career ladder at the moment. Some of them have set up their own production companies. Others are working in local production companies. And I think the one thing that has been good about the recent economic crisis is that film has remained relatively buoyant compared to the other arts. The government does have a good policy on film. It is still subsidising the making of films. And also you've got to think, just film is sort of the language of communication for so many people. Our students are already beginning to work when they're at Trinity in making films within Trinity for other groups, for educational purposes and so on. So film is, it really is a very, very useful tool to be somewhat on top of doing. You're better off being able to do it than not being able to do it. So many of them go into film production. It's a long career path. You're not going to get rich quick, and you may never get rich, but you may have lots of fun. Others go into journalism, again, without continuing to be a sort of pessimist and a grouch. The opportunities for print journalism are diminishing daily because newspapers are gradually just becoming dinosaurs, and so most journalism is on the internet. But, great to start blogging. Start blogging now if you want to be a journalist. Get yourself blogging, get yourself out there, get your name out there, and it could fall in place for you. So some of us have gone into journalism. Others are doing research, and they may, they get hired by, say, documentary film companies, television companies, and so on, to conduct research. And that's another really good career that ours are doing. Others have just gone into organisations. One of ours had just got an email saying he'd got a job in BAFTA, the British Academy, whatever it is, Film Television Awards. And of course, many go overseas and get jobs overseas. And then there are the opportunities for further study. We take quite a number of our own graduate into our PhD program, into our master's program, and many of them do go on to do further study. So those are things that you don't need to think about your master's now. You're thinking about your undergraduate now. But those are kind of roughly what people go on to do. And of course, some people just change career completely.